Hello guys, thanks very much for coming back and joining me. If you are new to my YouTube channel, my name is Julie and I am a fan of the show Game of Thrones. I actually live in Ireland, so it's really cool for me to watch this show, and also I have been on the Game of Thrones tour around like 3 or 4 times now, and it is absolutely phenomenal. Honestly, it is amazing. I've been to where they did Winterfell, I've been to Winterfell, they do a lot of the stuff down in Ballantoy Harbour as well, and just so many places. The tour is absolutely phenomenal. Now, Season 8, I want to talk about Season 8, and I'm going to be talking about the final episode. Now, I have just finished watching it about an hour or so ago. I watched it on an app on my phone. As soon as I got up this morning, I seen that it was available, this episode, because it wasn't there last night, so I thought, right, watch it now before anybody destroys it. There's so many, you know, people that like to destroy things online. Now, I did like the episode, fine. I didn't have any major issues, or anything that would go full-blown crazy, like, oh, I am so annoyed, I'm so upset about. Obviously, I do have issues. I have had quite a few issues with this season. I think it's my least favourite. But I would say this episode was a lot better than some of the episodes in this season, to be quite frankly honest. Of course I do have my issues though, and I do have my notes on my phone, and I am in a rush to go out, guys, so sorry if this is a bit all over the place. But I knew people would want to hear my view and my opinion and things like that. I probably will lose a ton of subscribers over this, guys, but you know what? This is my channel and I want to be honest, and people are being really harsh on me because I did actually like this episode. Anyways, the reason for this season, firstly, I want to say, being so rushed, I'm going to tell you this. I watched a video of George Martin, and the interviewer asked him about this season, and he said, well, if you have read my novels, easily they could have did 10 to 12 seasons out of this. I actually wanted 10, and they were adamant, and they were saying for years, the past 5 or 6 years, no, we're only doing 7, there's no way we're even doing 8. Then they finally, last minute, decided, okay, we'll stretch it to an 8th season, which is why they lazily just did 6 episodes. So yes, I agree, firstly, off the bat, it was way too rushed. Daenerys' character direction, I do get, I 100% get it. Like, she even mentioned in this 6th episode of Season 8 that she's like breaking the wheel and all that there. She even said in a very early season of Game of Thrones, Daenerys said, I will break the wheel. You know what I mean? And I've mentioned this in other videos all about Daenerys in my other Game of Thrones videos. But I understand why she done what she done, but was it too rushed? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But maybe read into a bit more about her father, and I think it would be more understandable for you. Yes, way too quick and way too rushed. So, to me, Game of Thrones kind of went downhill from around Season 5. I prefer 1 to 4. Season 7 was kind of bad, to be quite honest. But let's go on to what I thought of this. Now, the thing is with Game of Thrones, where it kind of fell flat for this season, is when it comes up to main events, it never really comes to much, if that makes sense. Like, okay, winter is coming, it kind of came and went. What was that all about, right? Okay, so I'm with you on that, honestly, guys, because a lot of people think that too. But that's okay to do that in earlier seasons, because that's what Game of Thrones has always done. But when you're getting to the final seasons, like, really they should have laid off on that, in my opinion. But how Game of Thrones is they think to themselves, right, the fans think it's going to go this way, so we'll do something completely the opposite. So of course that's why Bran Stark, you know, became king, because they were thinking the fans aren't going to expect that, the fans aren't really going to want that, not all the fans anyways, right? And then Sansa became her own queen, right? She wanted her own independence. I kind of thought that was a bit like selfish in a way, and everybody was sort of like sitting like, oh really? Okay. And her brother's just like, oh okay, alright then. You know, but this season was set up on the Starks story. Let's face it, it started with the Starks and the family, right? In the show. So I was fine with Sansa and that part, but I did kind of think it was a bit selfish. But in a way, it was good that the Starks, in the way in this season, ended, because it did start with the Starks, if that makes sense. And it was hardly going to be Daenerys that was going to become queen. I'm glad she died. It was very predictable when Jon was standing beside her. Like, he's going to just get a knife or something, and he's going to put that through her. Or why doesn't he just get that sword and just kill her? And I seen it coming, so it was a bit kind of predictable. But I was glad that he did kill her, and he did finally realise after speaking to Tyrion, you know, this is what's going to happen. And I loved that Tyrion didn't die. I was so happy. So happy Didn't have an issue with the dragon burning the Iron Throne, because that was a way of her dragon saying, this is so childish, like, you know, what are you at? You know, this is a really childish thing that the way you're getting on. And then he just like flew off with Daenerys. But it was really sad the way the dragon was, you know, sort of like, you know, really sad about it, and then he sort of like flew off. One thing I did find stupid was Jaime Lannister and Cersei. They were covered in stones from episode freaking 5. So why bricks? Why is Tyrion moving bricks? Kind of confused over that. But I would have thought it would have been cool when Jon killed Daenerys, considering he's like of the same blood. Why didn't he could have been able, a better story, get on the dragon and then like go and like try and say to everybody like, you know, she did wrong sort of thing, and I have a dragon here so don't mess with me sort of thing. That would have been kind of cool. And also sending Jon to the wall was silly, because, you know, it's hardly exactly like a prison for him. They wanted him back anyways, right? And the point of the wall is to watch it, right? What are they actually protecting at the moment? So definitely very stupid. The fact that Jon Snow wasn't killed after the fact that he killed Daenerys was kind of off as well to me. Bran was made king, of course, because, as I say, the fans weren't expecting it. I didn't actually mind, guys, that Jon didn't get to become king, because I thought he had maybe a bit way too much sort of like character-wise going on, especially with this season 8. So I think I wouldn't have liked that anyways. Of course, Daenerys would have been a silly choice. Tyrion, I was so happy that he got to become Bran's hand. I was so happy to see that. I'm so glad he didn't die. As I stated in my last video, I wanted Tyrion Lannister to become the king. I love, honestly, that the throne was burnt, because let's face it, guys, it showed me that the dragon was like, this whole thing that you've been doing for all this time is so silly. Why can't you all just, you know, like, leave it alone sort of thing. Now lastly, I want to talk about things that I did like. So obviously, of course, as you know, I was so happy Tyrion becoming you know, hand and everything, and the way he was sort of like pushing the chairs in, you know, to make them look all perfect, and everybody walked in, he's like, oh, you know, like, I just fixed those sort of type thing. That was brilliant. I loved the music. I thought the music was beautiful. I loved the way they slowed it down, the theme song of Game of Thrones and everything. I was so happy, honestly. My most happiest part was that my Tyrion didn't die, honestly. The scene with Daenerys and her dragon, oh my goodness, straight away I just went, oh, that is so cool. When she was standing and the wings came out at the side and it looked like the wings were actually connected to her, I thought that was absolutely beautiful. I thought it was honestly fantastic. I honestly don't have major issues with this last final episode. As a final episode, you know, as a fan, I was actually happy with it. I didn't do what a lot of people done, which is, you know, read all the spoilers before I actually seen the episode. I prefer to just watch something that I'm a fan of rather than go and read spoilers and spoil it for myself, because that's what spoilers are, they spoil things for you. And I stayed off the internet a good bit, you know, late last night, because I thought to myself, you know, some idiot's going to ruin it, you know what I mean? They're going to put thumbnails all over their YouTube thumbnails, even though they know some people might not get to see it for another week or so. But people are selfish, you know, that's the way people are on YouTube, so whatever. I was happy enough. Obviously, I've came off on this video with a lot of issues. But at the same time, cinematography-wise, it was beautiful. The music was beautiful in it. It was a fine ending for the final episode of Game of Thrones. I don't care if you disagree, right? You can disagree all you like, but, you know, be as rude as you like or whatever, I don't care. But this is my channel. You're always going to get the blunt and honest truth. I'm not going to come on here and be fake just to follow a little, you know, like, trip of sheep, just because people want me to say all the same things that everybody else is saying. I didn't like this, I didn't like that, the whole episode was awful, it was the worst episode ever. No. I actually thought it was quite fine, actually. I enjoyed it fine enough. And yeah, I'm glad Daenerys got her comeuppance worth. I'm glad Jon got to kill her. And I'm so happy with Tyrion. And it was nice the way it ended. I don't really have that much of an issue, really. I mean, it did start with the Starks, as I said, and we all know now why it was rushed. I watched that video of George Martin, and he said they were adamant to only do 7 seasons. And he said there was way more material left, that they could have done 12 seasons. So for anybody saying in videos, oh, it's because they ran out of material, apparently, no, far from it. Far from it. They did not run out of material. They just didn't want to be bothered. They didn't want to be bothered. For the past 5 to 6 years, George said that they were saying, no, we are not doing any more than 7 seasons. This is it. That's, you know what I mean? Like, it probably is a lot of work. Like, obviously, let's think of it. It's a massive amount of work and a massive amount of hours that has to go into this. And I just think in the end, they just couldn't be bothered, you know? But then if they just couldn't be bothered, then they shouldn't have bothered doing season 8 the way they done it. They should have just said, look, sorry fans, but we're just not bothering. You know what I mean? Because it seemed like they just didn't put much into this season as much as they did like season 1 to 4. They just kind of like flung it out to us. And I will agree, guys, they just kind of threw it at us. And I think the worst mistake was doing 6 episodes. They should have done 10 to 12 episodes because this was the final season anyway. They shouldn't have been lazy. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this. I can already imagine the comments that I'm going to get and people are going to be unsubscribing. But whatever, this is my channel. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and for all the people that do genuinely support me. If you're going to unsubscribe because you don't like my opinion, then you know what, you shouldn't be here in the first place. Thank you so much for watching, and until my next video, don't forget that the Force will be with you always. Thank you so much for all the kind words of support, guys. Bye.